please join me in welcoming today's Women of Influence speaker, Debbie Travis.
I have to say, I'm absolutely honored to be a Women of Influence, if that's the title, or I don't know if I've ever influenced anybody in my life, but thank you. Dream it, do it, and live it. You cannot possibly, we all have ideas. We have ideas every day, but you've got to do it. Even if somebody turns you down and they say no, you've got to try it. And once you've done it, then you have to live with the consequences. Yesterday, I was in the hairdressers and a woman said to me, you know what, I wanted to do a TV show about hair salons. She said, and I really had this idea and I was going to call a network and I was going to write it down. And you know what, I watched television the other night and somebody has done it. Well, you know, me and some of my team are here. If you want to do something, you have to move fast because you'll miss the boat. And then you have to live with it. And sometimes the consequences aren't pretty. The surprise. It sounds crazy, but the element of surprise, I think, is what keeps you young. Surprises aren't always pleasant, but they do fill your heart. It makes you feel good. And I think it's so important, whatever business you're in, is to constantly challenge yourself into being surprised. Because if you're not surprised by life, you become bored. And if you become bored, you become frustrated. You know, I am not the best. I'm certainly not the most qualified. So hire the best people. And often when I talk to people in business, they're very intimidated by that because they say, well, you know what, if I hire the best, it's going to make me look small. You know what? You're where you are because you are good at one nugget, just one nugget. You know what I'm good at? I'm good at seeing a story. If we've chosen a house for a facelift, I don't care a rat's ass about what the kitchen's going to look like. But I know that mother-in-law who lives next door is going to be climbing that fence and is going to be the bane of our life, and she's going to be the core of that show. I can hire the best designers, the art directors, the painters. They can do a far better job than I can. You know, I can tell them what to do a bit, but you know what? It's so surround yourself with great people and they will just make you look better. And then, of course, they get their own shows, but anyway. You need to have that knot in your stomach, even if it's once a day or once a week. Every time I'm asked to do, you know, be a guest on a big show, like, say, the Today Show, jumping up and down, oh my God, I've been asked, isn't that amazing? The day before I go, I think of every excuse to get out of it because I'm terrified. But what happens is that fear creates adrenaline, and adrenaline creates greatness. That's how we jump over fences. And it's like, you know, I tried to get out of this yesterday. I said, you know, it's going to be raining. There's no point in me coming. Nobody's going to be here. They said, get on a plane. So fear is very important, and when you lose fear, you need to change what you're doing. I have to say this bit, but it is the importance of colour. I seriously believe, after being in so many of your homes, that colour is a science, and colour will change your life, and it will change your mood. On a day like this, you go home to a yellow wall or a bright pink wall, an orange wall, colour can speak to your soul in 1,000 ways. And it is so important. I know people like beige and all these kind of things, but you know what? Those are colours that absorb the light. And when you see somebody, if you just try it, honestly, even if it's a loo downstairs, paint it fuchsia, whatever inside it, I'm just going to try it. It does make you smile. Kit, who's sitting over there, is my partner. And every day we're always doing something different, and every day we're waiting for each other to call. And Kit has a saying, which I hate her for, because it always means bad news. So you're waiting whether you've had a show green-lighted or you're going to get that funding, and she always starts the conversation with, the kids are fine. That means they hated the show and we didn't get the funding. But it's her way of saying, it doesn't matter, the kids are fine, you know? They've got all their limbs. You go upstairs and have a good sob, but you know what, you move on. So it's very important. You know, none of us are immortal. None of us. With a blink of an eye, we're gone in the big picture. So what is important? Your families are the most important. I know this is obvious, but it is. So when you get so distraught, which I do every minute, you know, in the end, you know what, just take 2 seconds. It's not that important. Knock on the door, go in, offer to do coffee. You will rise to the top. You will. And you look at the greatest CEOs in North America, and very few of them went to university. And I'm not saying don't go to university, but it's that drive, hire somebody who does the accounts, hire somebody who makes the numbers make sense. But you have to sell. You're a salesman. I can sell snow to Canada.